Alright, we're back. Again, that's happened a bit. Hopefully that doesn't mean that this trend is going to start again, where my stream crashes every fucking stream. But yeah, I don't believe that's happened since, like, again, that's been like 2 months, right? Because I think it was like right before the 42 finale was the last time I was having internet issues, but because I believe it was during my Life is Strange playthrough. I'm looking at it. Yeah, so that was like right before 42 finale. So yeah, that's annoying. Hopefully it doesn't happen again, but obviously we'll never truly know until it happens. But alright, we're back. So I was talking about Brent, right? Brent and Tyler and Angela. Which again, yeah, it was like Tyler and Angela just were very like they had heard about RHGP not liking them because like Rob called them boring, and then like Brent also didn't like them. So yeah, like Tyler like refused to do interviews with them. Really the sum of that. Pooch's Dan Lembo 35 years before Nicaragua. I could definitely see that. I mean, like, yeah, Pooch definitely feels like... I mean, like, Pooch to me, like, felt like Scaramucci, like, 30 years before. He was on Big Brother.
Does it mean the chorus is ready?
It is assembled. I couldn't have done it without Varl. But I don't know what good it will do. The chorus is in disharmony.
For such a Big Brother fan, you would think Tyler would have known about RHGP. I don't remember. Did he or did he not? Now I think about it, I don't think he ever did talk about RHGP, did he? Like, the thing is, like, he knew who Aika was. And, like, we do know he is a big fan. Like, he had been applying for a little bit. He knew who Aika was during that interview. Yeah, like, there's a lot of, like, proof there. Like, he is a pretty big fan of the show. But yeah, just kind of weird. Yeah, like, it doesn't seem like he had any experience with RHGP.
What did you do?
Oh, he thought. Well, yeah, that was 22 though. 22 is like different. That's All Stars.
Refused to meet to consider your request.
But like 20 though, like, even there he was very clearly a massive fan. Ancient 38 news. Yeah, we got a new boot, which again, not gonna spoil, but finally. Took forever.
Spread the word about how you soothed Ray.
There may even have been a little exaggeration.
Yeah, I think someone asked any schedule changes before stream. The short answer is no.
Until they finally agreed to meet.
I saw it work a few times with
the
patriarchs.
No.
Once or twice.
So yeah, I've done a lot of editing.
Nice job.
The last few days, which again, a lot of the reason why I was able to watch so much Amazing Race Australia. So yeah, so I believe last time I streamed, I was like halfway through the pre-merge ranking or something like that. So I finished editing the pre-merge ranking, which was, and also since then I've edited, actually ended up being shorter. It's like the post-merge ranking, or pre-merge ranking was pretty much exactly an hour. Post-merge ranking was only 53 minutes, so that was a bit shorter. So I edited that. I edited the Survivor Thailand retrospective, which I got done last night. Which, and also weirdly, like, despite the script being like over 1,000 words longer, I believe, than my Marquesas one. Actually, I can look it up real quick. Where's Marquesas? Yeah, like 2,000. Like 2,000 words longer. 2,400 words longer than the Marquesas one. The video itself actually ends up being 2 minutes shorter, which is kind of weird to me. I don't know how that happens, but whatever. It's an hour and 23 minutes. And then this morning, before I went to work, I like very quickly edited together the what if every season had jury removal. So that video is also done, which means I'm now caught up to what I can do up until the end of September. The problem is that most of September I can't do right now. You got 43 cast assessments, Challenge USA review, Last of Us Part 1 review, A&W review, and BB24 videos, season review and player ranking. So like that's most of the month, so it's like I can't get those done yet. But even right before that, you have SA, Return of the Outcasts review and player ranking. You also have the mid-season power rankings for BB24 and SA. So outside of those videos, everything until the end of the month, end of September, is done right now. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, so next up, I'm going to be editing the Forever Red retrospective, so that's something. Then you got BB3 player ranking, luckiest moment for every survivor player, what if every player was on the jury. And then you got the Merge Tribal Council video, Merge episode video, and then after that's a whole bunch of video game videos that you do. So, yeah, I mean, that's the process now. So once those are all done, I can plot ahead, which will be interesting. And solidify the schedule for early next year, which will happen. Which, again, I think it would be fun if I could do that on stream. I don't know if I will or not, just because, like, I feel like a lot of it's just going to be dead air of me trying to figure out things. But I think it could be interesting to, like kind of figure out what videos I would want to do for, like, 2024 and also, like, the beginning of 2023, like, on stream. Like, solidify early 2023 and then also, like, do some, like, more like loose plotting for 2024. I think that could be interesting to do on stream, but don't know if I will end up doing that. Again, I recorded my process of doing it for last year, but obviously that was like off stream and everything. And like that took like, I think it was like 4 hours? I don't remember anymore. I can actually look it up.
Who call for change or extreme measures. Your request has given
recasting Amazing Race 8 is still this year. I believe the Genius video has gotten pushed to next year again. Amazing Race 8 video I'm for sure releasing this year just because, like, I just want that video out. It doesn't even feel like it very much feels like an old video. To where, like, I need to get it out. Like, it just feels weird for it to not be out. That and Hellblade, both those videos. Well, Hellblade's coming out in a few weeks as an extra video. Yeah, both of those videos are coming out this year for sure at this point, just because, like, they're so outdated that's like whatever. Not in terms of like the content of them, but more so in like the way that I make the video. To where the Genius player ranking, I'm still like content with that. To where like I'm kind of more okay with delaying it a little bit more. So like that's been like pretty much delayed indefinitely. But it'll come out at some point. Did Glenn from BB18 ever apologize for scanning? I don't believe so, right? Yeah. What a weird situation the Joey Rodriguez thing was, though.
So,
like, how weird is it for him, like, to create, this alt account, for him to, like, tell other Big Brother people that, hey, you and Glenn should totally hook up. It's like, what the fuck? I have not started any work on the first boot ranking, but that will be for sure early next year. Like, it'll be like the big ranking I do at the beginning of the year for 2023. And I'll also do first boot rankings for Big Brother. I'm debating on should I even bother with BB Can?
We'll see.
Because like I'm going to be doing the all-time ranking anyway.
Where the chorus is gathered.
So where like obviously it'll just be in line with that. So like I don't know if it's even worth doing a BB Can version of it. But we'll see. And then, which to be fair, that's like kind of my like hesitancy with doing these like ranking every player sort of videos. That kind of takes like all the air out of the out of like these smaller scaled rankings. But again, I'm still going to do the BB Can one next year. Yeah, I'll probably do SA and Australian Survivor. Again, I'm kind of like, I don't know what to do with international Survivor ones. Where like I just don't like have the like motivation, I guess, to do them at this point. Where like I was supposed to do like final juror ranking and merge boot ranking for international Survivor, and it's like I don't know. I just don't feel like doing it right now. Like I probably will eventually. I'm sure I will, but it's just like right now, I don't know. I just don't like feel like doing it. But yeah, like Big Brother US is one I'll definitely do. I don't know exactly what the criteria is going to be, because like when I think of first boots, like I don't know, like do I include like Jody and like that sort of, like to me that doesn't feel like right. Like it doesn't feel like these are like people on equal playing fields to like put Jody against like I don't know, like a Brayden or something like that. Like I feel like to me the first boot ranking should be people that were booted in the first like formal round of the game.
The singing will stop.
More so than like these night one evictees. To where like that just feels kind of weird to me. Yeah, BB9, it's like what I do there. Yeah, actually, yeah, what do you do, BB9? I actually haven't put any thought into that. That is kind of...
Right, let's go talk to them.
Yeah, like, do I include Neil and Sharon? But then, like, Sharon obviously comes back. So, like, I guess it would only be... or not Neil, I mean Jacob and Sharon. But also, like, what do I do with Neil? I mean, I'm probably going to forgo Neil. Yeah, like Jacob, obviously, like, do I put him or do I put, like, Jen and Parker, who are, like, the first boot at the first formal round, but, like, also, do I put them as two separate entries? Like, I think I would have to, right? I don't know. Actually, yeah, BB-24 is going to be fucked, too. God damn it. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, it's like, so I guess Pooch is the first boot. I've literally not put any thought into this until now, but yeah, that's kind of fucked, isn't it?
If I can get it, it will help.
And the Nora.
I've seen the Challenge Argentina cast as of like a week ago, or whenever like the first names came out. I haven't seen anything new.
Only Fa, our land god, who entered the cave and did not return.
Let's see. Is there anything new?
Gods is broken. We are diminished. Tales of spirits will not help us. Nothing will.
We weaken, we die, and become fertile ground for new life. This is the natural
Let's
order.
see. So I'm looking at the Australia one. It doesn't look like there's anyone new on the Australia one.
Until you become food for
I don't even
worms.
see the Argentina one.
Literally.
Whatever. I mean, but Nick and Phil is like...
Ignorant of our...
I don't know, I guess it is like kind of the same, isn't it? But like, to me there's like such a major discrepancy. Oh, there's Argentina. But to me there's like such a major discrepancy between Jen and Parker than there was with Nick and Phil, where Nick and Phil like are pretty much the same. Like obviously like I think Nick is a better player than Phil, but it wasn't like these two vastly different first boots. Especially in the understanding that they like came in playing together and like were always going to be playing together from beginning to end, while like Parker and Jen didn't come in together and then also were going to be split up eventually. Yeah, so I think this is still the same group. Yeah, this is definitely the same group from what I saw before. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't know who any of these people are. Yeah, I have no interest in... Like, I'm gonna probably watch it just for the sake of it, but, like, I don't know who any of these people are from Challenge Argentina. None of them are reality TV people, which is kind of weird.
Can save
I don't know about SA Premiere. Like, to me, it's like, I feel like you should start it with a vote, but also, like, I can definitely see them doing it as a two-parter. Like, I would not be surprised if we don't get an elimination tomorrow. Just due to the fact that, again, we need, what was it, 5 non-elim rounds, I believe? Something like that. Or non-elim episodes. And, like, we know they're not doing non-elim rounds, so, again, it makes sense for, like, the premiere to be one of those episodes. But, no, we'll see.
Is over.
Then off we go.
Actually, yeah, that is funny. Yeah, I think he did call that Pooch was going to be the boot this week. Which I'm too bad. Like, it took like a lot of extenuating circumstances for Pooch to be the boot this week, but yeah, it is funny that actually ended up coming to be. I did watch Nico's cast assessment. Yeah, fine. He did say some weird shit during it. I do love how like clearly he loves Kevin. I did find that funny.
I've seen these machines before.
But yeah, like outside that, it's mostly unnotable. Are Jonathan one of the most screwed Survivor contestants ever? No. Because they would have been voted out anyway. Yeah, the reason why they're not picked there is because like no one wanted them on their tribes. Like Wanda probably would have been first boot anytime. She was gonna be on Kror, right? Yeah, she would have been the first boot had they ever gone. And then Jonathan also was very disliked on the island. Mostly because, like, well, it was like Kobe spread rumors about him, right? That was the thing. Mostly he just, like, didn't gel with everyone else to where Jonathan for sure would have been an early boot too.
These machines are stronger, deadlier than the...
Especially if he's on Oolong.
There's more than just me on the ground and the same land god in that cave.
Which, mind you, that would have made Oolong a bit stronger, but still. Yeah, there is a possibility of Wanda being worse than Wendy Jo. Like, that isn't out of the realm possibility. Like, if it wasn't for her being taken out by a twist, like, I think there's definitely a serious debate for Wanda being the worst player of all time.
This trail is the path of the land gods. It'll lead us to the cordon.
Yeah, there's, like, too much unknown, though, to properly rank her there, but still.
Machines.
We can take them out, Aloy. On your lead.
Will Circle do an All-Star season? Probably not. I don't see it being something that they would do. I would like to see... Like, I think it would be very interesting to see a Circle All-Star season where, like, we have people catfishing as other, like, Circle people and everything. I think that would be funny. But I think it's going to be tough to keep it straight. But I think we saw, like, Celebrity Circle be able to do something similar. But even then, I think it's even tougher with All-Stars, considering, like, the limited amount of people it could even be. But, like, with Celebrity Circle, it's like, at least there, it's like, there's a wide range of celebrities that could possibly be cast for the show. While with the Circle, it's like a very small group and also a group that knows each other. Through, like, the alumni community and everything. So it's like, I think it's definitely tough for them to do it, but I would be interested in seeing them trying. But again, I don't know if they are actually going to do it. I mean, to be honest, like, I would not be surprised if Circle gets canceled after this next season. Like, that would not be shocking to me. Especially considering how, like, little they promoted season 4.
We're almost there.
So many machines broke through. What happened to the Cordon's defenders?
We better be ready for anything.
Yeah, thank God for, if it wasn't for that, actually, I'm too fair, if it wasn't for, like, him being on the Circle, like, he would have been on Big Brother. Which might have been the better, like, show for him anyway. Like, I'm assuming he doesn't win the Circle then, right? Like, you would think if he won the Circle, he wouldn't be so apt to, like, jump into another reality show right away. But, favorite Big Brother Blindside? Again, we talked about that last stream, right? Didn't we? But yeah, again, Big Jeff, I think, is up there. I think Austin, BB17. I think Rachel, BB20.
Into the cave.
I don't know what else is there. Howie, BB7. I don't know. Like, there's probably a decent amount. Dustin, BB8. I forgot, we have in our Cauldron area. Oh yeah, I wasn't even considering BB Can. Yeah, BB Can, definitely JP is up there.
Up here.
Follow your lead, Aloy.
Why is Marvin just applying to everything? I don't know. Again, like, I assume he's just like, it's really itching to become famous, right? Again, like, it's kind of similar to what Moose did, right? Where, like, Moose, from BB Can was, like, applying for everything. And all he got was BB Can, but, like, I guess Marvin's just a popular guy. Yeah, he's definitely doing it for popularity, though. Is this where I'm supposed to go? Oh, I guess it is. They haven't talked about Gabon yet. It's been, I can't even tell because I don't even know where the stream died last time, but it's been like over an hour, right? A YouTuber named Airrack did his own version of Big Brother, 25 people in just 2 days. Yeah, I didn't think I saw something about that, right? That some sort of YouTuber was doing it, but it was a YouTuber that I didn't know of, so that's probably it.
On the temple. Just like this.
Got great vibes from the first time I saw Marvin cast reveal, but interviews brought it down. I don't remember. I feel like for me, I think I thought of him like kind of like I was kind of like middle of the road on him right away, but I think his interviews I think I actually went like slightly up if I remember right.
More dangerous.
But I don't remember like why.
That means there's something.
And like I could just be misremembering that, but like I feel like I went up on him actually after the interviews.
And it wants us dead.
Marvin was your winner pick? Well, that was not a great choice. Yeah, 2 days is super short for 25 people. But I doubt they were like that focused on the gameplay anyway.
Let's go. We have to find the core of this place.
Do I want to hear something crazy? I mean, not particularly, but
Not like any
you can say it anyway. And is it something to bone related? I feel like it probably is. Wait, where did he go?
machines in here. We'll have to take
Oh,
them
he
out.
killed the machine. Oh, there's no HOH? Then what the fuck's the point of this? Like, okay, whatever. So, I mean, like, really, it's just like, okay, we're doing a generic reality show that just so happens to take place in a house. Never played FIFA, and I was opening a FIFA pack and got a Capone player. Wait, what Capone player would be in FIFA? Oh, it was definitely Trevor. Yeah, Trevor from... I completely... Like, we haven't even mentioned that in forever. I completely forgot that was a thing until just now. Oh, god damn it. Oh, I thought I actually died there. I was gonna like, wow, that was actually close. Wait, who is that? Oh, you mean like a guy actually from Gabon? Is that what we're talking about here? Like, not from Survivor Gabon, but like actually from Gabon? Okay, I'm looking this up right now, yeah. Like, okay, so he plays for Gabon. Okay, so he's the son of a former Gabonese. Okay, that makes that even more weird. Okay, what the fuck? So it's not even like someone from Survivor Gabon, but it's like, it's actually like a Gabonese person. Okay. I think that's where I got confused to begin with.
It's over.
So this is a cauldron. Where machines...
Euphoria's director has a new show coming out. I didn't even know Euphoria's still going on, isn't it? Is Euphoria
They
done?
aren't just made here.
Is he doing like two things at once then?
Repaired too.
Is that, I mean, I guess it's an out of the realm possibility, but still.
Minerva? Maybe, but I have a feeling that's not all.
Wait, where am I? Here? Yeah, still never watched Euphoria. To be honest, Euphoria I get confused with like Succession all the time for some reason. Even though I don't think they have anything in common. Yeah, Euphoria's the Zendaya show, right? Yeah. Sam Levinson. Yeah, so he's doing like multiple things at once. So that's something. Charters are to be edited into the season. Yeah, it's a shame that they like cast someone that they didn't even put on the show. How funny would it be if it turned out that there actually was like an alternate named Trevor or something? I think that would be actually kind of humorous.
That'd be nice and
What's my most actively hated piece of media of all time? I mean, it's Dragon Ball Evolution.
makes killing machines. It's called Hephaestus. Even Mountain is one.
I don't think it's that close either.
I'll find another path.
Okay.
Like I think Dragon Ball Evolution's like a clear number one. I mean, like Assassin's Creed Odyssey is up there. Life is Strange Before the Storm is probably up there. How do you stop these guys? There's probably other things that are like fading from my mind right now, but yeah, those are the things that come up right away. Victoria's 2 seasons were 3 years apart. Were they? Yeah, I didn't pay attention to the show, but I felt like I heard a decent amount about it. I haven't seen if it was 3 years apart.
Looks more raised than the others. How are you
Yeah, how do I do this?
This price.
I don't remember. Daniel BB24 is probably one of the shittiest contestants ever. Yeah.
But I have to.
Not fun. I mean, also like a lot of microaggressions too. So it's like, yeah, it's not great. Like he's probably the most like anti-Taylor person at this point. And he's the one that's like putting like the blame of Paloma's eviction or Paloma's quit into like blaming it on Taylor. Did he say that? Did he say Taylor doesn't deserve to live a normal life? Well, that's certainly a comment. Okay, it's... Oh, that's what it is. Okay, I remember now. They had 2 specials?
That worked.
It seems weird for like them to just do 2 random specials for Euphoria of all shows. Nope, that was me being idiotic. Cool.
Alright? Yeah, just have to climb back up now.
Yeah, the way he talks about Paloma is so weird to me.
Good. Stay there.
Like it does feel like it does feel very creepy. But I don't know. Oh yeah, there is the scene. Yeah. There is like a bit of controversy over like did Daniel say the N-word or not. Oh yeah, like I haven't seen the clip, but like I believe it's like we're under the assumption now that it was Monty that said it, right? Not Daniel. So, but still, it's like I think there's enough things to hate Daniel for already that
Pillars from here. Maybe if I can find something.
yeah, it's still not a super likable presence here. You can't do that. Do you think Amazing Race Canada will do an All-Star season? I think they definitely could. I do think the fact that they wasted Jet and Dave though on season 7 is kind of weird though. To where like that felt like the time to do an All-Star season. To where like they didn't do it then, so it's like when are they ever going to do it then? But like I think it's definitely it's definitely not out of the realm of possibility. Well, like, I don't know. Like Amazing Race just doesn't seem to be that into All-Star seasons that much. Can we miss so much of live? I mean, you only missed 29 minutes. You definitely didn't miss the first hour before my stream crashed. But yeah. Paloma's the new Cappy? I mean, yeah. Yeah, I did see people saying that, which is just, like, really funny. I don't even remember. What do I do with this? Oh wait, I'm an idiot. I need to put it on there so it reveals it. Okay, yeah, I'm not even paying attention at this point.
That did it. The gears
What
on the
Aaron
hammer should be
Moriarty you're talking about? Yeah, she's pretty hot. Oh fuck, that one's not on. Oh, it turns on there. God damn it. Okay, whatever. Season 10, it could. Well, this is season 8, right? So that's still 2 seasons away. Yeah, they definitely could by then. I mean, like, Amazing Race US didn't do it until season 11 for whatever reason. Then again, it was initially intended to be season 8, but whatever. I felt like this would have been a good spot, though, for them to, like, return to an All-Star season. Like, after COVID. I feel like this would have been, like, a decent spot for it. But, I don't know. Oh, okay, that was me being an idiot. I didn't die from that? How did I not die from that? Whatever. Queen Amira Franzel? Is that what we're calling her now?
All this metal. Cold as winter in here.
From the warmth of the
this
sun.
Watch Paloma be cast for a challenge? I would not be that surprised. I do wonder, like, are we ever gonna hear from Paloma again? If she doesn't end up being on the challenge? Like, I feel like she might end up being, like, she's not on social media or anything, right? I don't believe. So, like, again, wouldn't that be surprising me if we just, like, never hear from Paloma under the, like, context of Big Brother
I think I'm
ever
getting
again?
close. One more set of pillars. There should be a protocol nearby to activate them.
Can I not go there? Cool. Oh, there's a... Okay. This is kind of boring. Like, this section, like, on the replay is, like, not the most interesting one in the world. I was like, in retrospect, I probably don't like the cauldrons of this game as much as I remembered. God damn it.
Okay.
Well, like, I feel like when I look back on it, I feel like a lot of them were more of a chore to play. What the fuck? I almost fucked that up. So, like, I feel like I like them conceptually more than I actually like playing them. Yeah, actually playing them. Gives you Major Franzel vibes. I mean, I can kind of get it.
Festus's cables are all over that mountain.
Like, she's kind of in, like, a BB-18-esque Nicole
Cables are moving.
position right now.
They're drawing back. We can climb up that vent.
How do we cross? Cables are twisted around that node on the other side.
She hasn't posted since. Yeah, I don't...
Oh, see,
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously, like, I think it probably is a lot of mental health related things that's going on with Paloma, to where, like, it's really not a real business to figure out exactly what's going on with her, but yeah, like, I feel like I just don't know if we're ever gonna find out. I don't think we are, especially considering it seems like CBS is very hush-hush about everything here. To where, like, even, like, when she gets ejected, like, they're, or not even ejected, when she quits, that she, oh, fuck off.
How do I get back up there?
How do I get back up there? That is certainly a fucking question. Okay, well, this is just terrible. But yeah, like, even when she, like, ends up quitting, like, they say it's, like, for personal reasons, and, like, don't give even the players, like, any other, story outside that, so, yeah, like, I think they are gonna keep it very secretive. God damn it. Okay, how are you actually supposed to get back up, then? How far back do you have to go? All the way over here? Excuse me? Can you fucking climb it? Thank you. Ugh. Yeah, she's Nicole, but she actually works with the women, yeah. I think that's a good way to describe her. Oh, fuck! Oh, what was that? Why? Okay. Try this again. Oh my god, are you fucking serious? Yeah, that's also a thing. Yeah, actually, yeah, I didn't even think about the Taylor side of things too with Paloma. That if she were to go on social media, she would be getting all like the hate from the Taylor stuff, to where that'd probably even like further ruin her mental health. So, yeah, it probably is just straight up for the better that she's not really active right now. You saw the first Jack game, you're gonna give the franchise a try? That's cool. I really liked the first Jack game when I was a kid. I don't know how well it's aged. Like, literally in the sense that I don't know. Because I haven't played in a while, but I would be interested in replaying it. I mean, I did want to do that Naughty Dog ranking, which if I were to do it, I would replay the original Jack games. But, yeah, like, Jak and Daxter 1 has always been my personal favorite. But I think, like, 2 and 3 are, like, very different games. Like, where the first one, like, is a pretty, like, by-the-numbers 3D platformer. Where, like, 2 and 3 definitely try to make it more into, like, an action game. With, like, middling results. Like, some people like it, some people don't. I always personally like the original style gameplay more. But, still. How will William Butcher do on... And that's Carl Urban's character, right? Not well. Like, I don't think he would do well. Like, I think he's probably, like, physically strong, right? But, like, he's definitely, like, someone that's probably going to isolate himself. Hey, I mean, to be fair, though, he does put together the boys, so it's like, I guess he does have, like, some leadership. I mean, he is the leader and everything, so it's like, he has, like, leadership ability, I guess, but... I wouldn't expect him to do that well. How do you get across?
There's still no sign of fog.
It's a big place.
Yeah, we talked about Pooch versus Brent earlier. I would say, like, Pooch is the better player, probably, but I think Pooch also made, like, the bigger mistake. Oh, yeah, I think you glide, don't you? Yeah, you glide here. Well, I think Pooch's move to, like, to nominate himself, I think is a worse, like, individual move. And it's more of a game-breaking move than, like, anything Brett ever did. But, like, I think their, like, games are, like, relatively similar. But I think Pooch is probably a player that has, like, a little bit more potential than Brett. When I think I'll do another daytime stream? Probably not soon. I'm trying to think, do I even, like, I don't really plan on taking time off. Anytime soon. I did take the day of the Big Brother finale off, or like half day for that day. But outside that, I don't think I plan on taking any time off outside that, so it's like, oh, probably not super likely, especially not a super long stream. I have thought about, like, maybe doing, like, some Left Behind. Oh, did I just drop in the wrong spot? Oh, well, that's great. I did think about doing some Left Behind speed runs just randomly some days, but like, not really, like, that's not gonna be like the Wolf Among Us stream or the Last of Us stream where it was like 7-8 hours. don't know. If I have like a weekend off and I'm not doing anything, which is like not super likely, but whenever next time I do, then I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Varl, above us. She's in the air.
Don't let go, Aloy.
Yep, wasn't planning on it.
Oh, what, your list, what is it? Peyton lists one, oh fuck, stuff thing. There we go. Peyton lists Erin Moriarty, Lauren O'Connell, Zendaya. I'll probably put Erin, actually, would I put Erin in one? I feel like to me, like, Peyton lists and Lauren O'Connell are like, pretty close. So it's like, the question is like, is Erin better or worse? Yeah, I wouldn't have that as similar for ranking. Yeah, Pooch and Brett definitely do it. Again, they both are like players that like have like one goodish move, but also are like still relatively early boots, and like also like played most of their game pretty poorly. God damn it! What the fuck game? Can you fucking interact? Okay, cool. Please. There we go. What the fuck? I thought Pooch had more potential though coming into the season than Brent. But like I never really thought Brent was going to do that well.
It's taken over facilities before.
Or like even in the preseason, he seemed like someone that didn't know what the fuck they were doing. While yeah, like, Pooch seemed to have a good head on his shoulders early on.
Something called Gaia.
But yeah, doesn't really live up to that. The Alien Production told Paloma what was going on with Twitter. I don't know, and maybe that could have played a factor, but I don't think that was the determining factor.
What is
Like, I mean, that could have been like the thing that made her go over the edge and like end up quitting, but I think you can clearly tell like her mental health was like taking a hit,
And then
like for days coming into that.
my people see what it has become.
But that might have been like
One of our gods attacks
the final straw.
You know what we have to do.
Yeah, does Pooch still think he's safe? Like, I do know that, like, a few days ago, I think it was yesterday, he did, like, start to pick up on the fact that he might be in danger. But he probably does still think he's actually safe, though.
That dome of light.
Your brother got Mexico, South Africa, and Philippines
There should be a
incorrect.
node I can override.
I'll be honest, like, I don't know how well I would do in a flag. Like, I would know Mexico for sure. I think I know Philippines. South Africa? What is the South African flag? I might or might not get it. Like, I feel like it's one of those things where, like, if I see it, then maybe I'll recognize that is, but, like, when I'm, like, trying to think of it, like, on top of my head, I don't think I can instantly, like, remember it right away.
And I'll get the big guy.
I'm playing Listy on Survivor? Well, oh, what the fuck? What was that? Okay, cool. I know nothing about Painless as a person, so, You're using the Gabon player in FIFA? Well, good for you. I think that's probably the right choice for you. Oh, no, I don't, again, production did not kick out Paloma. Paloma 100% quit the game. There is no incentive for production to kick out Paloma.
There should be a node I can override nearby to shut
Like, this is 100% production, like, begging Paloma to stay, and her just saying, like, no at the end of it and quitting. And the sense that I get from the way from the way the episode was portraying everything, I get the sense that production's actually, like, really pissed that she quit. Like, I don't think this is even a situation where, like, production themselves are like, okay, we get it, your mental health. I think they're actually like, fuck you, what the fuck, you ruined our show. Like, I think they're genuinely pissed at Paloma, if I were to guess. Especially because they also ruined the backstage boss twist and everything. Why am I... Actually, I just realized, I have way stronger weapons. Like, why am I not using them? Oh wow, that barely did anything. Do I find Shane and Andrew to be better characters than Tyler and Nathan? Yes, because like almost anything is a better character than Tyler and Nathan. But I mean, like Shane and Andrew are like fine characters. Like considering their like archetype of like these like cop buddy, like I guess buddy cops is probably the best way to say it. But like they're definitely like on the like they're definitely more entertaining than they should be. I feel like. Well, I still find them to be like one of the least entertaining of the cast, or like of the people that make it far, I should say. Or I like Paul and Steve were way more entertaining. Well, Paul was way more entertaining, and Grace was way more entertaining. I feel like Lucy and Amelia were way more entertaining. I felt like Michelle and Joe were like more like rootable for me. I feel like Shane and Andrew are definitely like the type of people that that like the public would like, especially the Australian public. Okay, I'm actually doing really shit right now. Polo's quit versus Nico's quit. In terms of what? Like to me, it feels like. In terms of like which one was like more justified or whatever, like I feel like Paloma. Like then again, we haven't seen like Nico on the feeds. So I think it's a major a factor in that. But like I feel like Paloma's feels like more like it makes more sense. To where like with Nico, like it kind of feels like he was just kind of being a sore loser to a degree. Where like obviously like he was on his way out anyway. What if 3 people quit week 1? Well then, what are we doing? Like, I don't even know what they would do if, like, multiple people quit. Alright. That was a shit fight. Kind of surprised they had Daniel inform the house. No, I think more recently they've been having the players do it. But yeah, like, back in, like, actually, no, because even in BB13, even when like Dick was kicked out, they had like Rachel read it, right?
Do I still have one?
So yeah, I don't think it's like since like what BB11 Oshima
For how long?
that they've had Grodner do it. I don't know.
Save my people.
Painless or Lauren O'Connell? I mean, probably Painless. Maybe because I feel like again Lauren O'Connell's like such a meme to me at this point.
But it starts now.
How pissed would production have been if Cameron beat Cody? I think they would have been like very annoyed, but like I don't think it would be like a game breaker in there or deal breaker. I don't know. Like I don't think it would have been like, okay, the season's ruined or anything. But yeah, I think definitely Cody returning was their ideal. I mean, I used to have a big crush on Selena Gomez when I was a kid. Which, like, I don't really have now at all, but, oh. Which one's worse, Marcellus not playing his veto or Eric giving up a immune necklace? I think with the context of everything, I think Eric. Because again, like for me with Marcellus, like the context of this being the first time the veto was ever even available to be used on yourself, I think is a major like sticking point with it. I think that's like a major reason why he doesn't use it. Is because of like what the veto had been propped up as at that point in Big Brother history. Where like if this was like BB7 or BB6, BB7, like that sort of era, like he's for sure using the Vito. Like I think it's a lot of the reason why he doesn't use the Vito at that point is because this is the first season ever with the Vito. The only time the Vito had ever been used beforehand was when Gary used the Vito on Marcellus, and when he did so, he blew up his entire game. And like, again, like the concept of using the Vito was looked at as like a selfish move at the time. So like I get why he doesn't do it. It's still dumb, especially from like a game standpoint. But like I get why Marcellus. Yeah, I get why Marcellus doesn't use it.
That doesn't sound good.
Was that the spirit? Minerva?
I don't think so. At least, not directly.
Attention. All personnel must
Selena Gomez better than I thought it was. I mean, like, so your ranking isn't like a definitive ranking. Your ranking is like only of like 4 random people that you've talked about you having a crush on. So where's Sarah Wilson land on this list? Is she above or below Lauren O'Connell?
What's going on?
Well, at least the emergency lights work.
What just happened?
Minerva's definitely here. And I think it's trying to keep us out. I'll scout ahead, see if there's a way to get us in.
You don't remember anything from Wizards of Waverly Place? I mean, me neither. I watched it when I was a kid. I have like no memory
Make sure it's safe.
of really anything about the show. Like I remember her brother was somebody. I don't remember. Yeah, I barely remember the show at this point. Sarah's below Lauren. Well, that's a shame. Which discussion is funnier? Yours with Gabon or Bryce with Lauren? I think yours with Gabon. It's probably funnier.
Okay.
Yeah, still have not watched Secret Saboteurs.
Find where Minerva's hiding. I should look for a way to access the facility systems.
alert. Restricted access. You are not wanted here.
Nope, sorry. You're not getting rid of me that easily, Minerva.
And what do you mean by like people playing the race card on Taylor? Like what do you exactly mean by that?
This leads.
Well, if you make a
Draft above.
so when you make a season ranking, you're going to talk about like, I mean, like what if your entire season ranking is you like saying like one sentence about every season, but then like Gabon is like 99% of the video.
Looks like another part of the
I think
facility.
that'd be kind of funny. Okay, wait. This is where I'm supposed to go, right?
Don't think I'm getting through that door right now.
Okay,
I
or
should turn
not.
back, see what else I can find.
Oh yeah, because okay, I remember now. I mean, like, Taylor was voted out. Like, I'm for all intents and purposes, like Taylor was voted out in the same way that like Dick, like, is essentially saved by a twist and everything. Like, she's still saved by a twist. Like, it doesn't matter if they went through the formalities of her being voted out or not. Like, she still was technically voted out.
Didn't.
Or I guess not technically, but she was like, I guess figuratively? Whatever. Like, she was going to be voted out. Had it not been for Paloma quitting the game, she was going to be voted out and then saved by a twist.
Guess I'm not going that way.
Well, shit. Where am I going? I thought like the game just progressed when you went here. That's not it.
Locked.
That's not it. Oh, here maybe? Whatever. At least 5 minutes on Gabon. I mean, I'll be disappointed if it's not more. I don't even know, like, what was the longest I know my first season ranking, I definitely did not talk that extensively, but I do wonder, like, what is the longest I talked about season on the, oh, fuck off. Okay, cool. On the global one, because I don't know. By the way, also, again, editing the Survivor Thailand video, I do love how, like, I talk about episode 3 for over 11 minutes, which is just kind of funny to me. Now, I'm pretty sure that's the longest I've ever talked about, like, a singular episode outside of the 41 and 42 premieres, I believe. Like, 42 premiere, I believe, was, like, almost 20 minutes. Well, like, again, kind of makes sense. But, like, I believe outside of those, like, I believe that is the longest I've talked about a singular episode. Episode 3 of Thailand is, like, obviously, you have the Ted and Gandia stuff, which is like, that was 6 minutes, by the way. I talked about the Ted and Gandia stuff for 6 minutes. But then beyond that, you have the Tax Zone Challenge, which that was like another like 3 minutes, I think. Like 2 or 3 minutes. And you also have Sukjai throwing the immunity challenge to vote out Jed. So, yeah. Those are all, like, massive talking points there. Oh, fuck. Is it this? It probably is.
Looks like I should head up.
Will I rank the BB premieres? No, I won't rank BB premieres, but I will rank first weeks.
And I'm outside. I need to find a way back into
I actually don't think there's a point of ranking premieres. Like, they're just all mostly boring. Like, they're all just set up. There's not much interesting going on. I think ranking first weeks would be a lot more interesting. MasterChef Australia had a 2-time winner last week also.
I can get Minerva to cooperate. I can merge it with Gaia. Finally bring her back. And we can start fixing the blight. The storms.
I've watched America's Got Talent when I was younger with my parents and stuff, but I've never cared about America's Got Talent.
They have a clone of Elizabeth. Why do they want it back up?
Oh, okay, there we go. Oh, did Priam do his craziest first weeks? Again, like if I do it, I would just rank all of them. Because like that's what I do. Excuse me, thank you. Fuck off. I mean, Frenchie's HOH will be very high. I think BB23 will be very high. I think 22 and 20, like 24 will be low. 22 is probably also pretty low. 21 will also probably be pretty low.
Another shaft.
20 will be high. 19 will be high. 18
I've got to find a way to plug
probably
into
be like
this
middle of the
place.
road. Alright, we made it.
System core penetrated.
Fuck me, how far in the stream are we? We're like 2 hours now, aren't we? I've only gotten to this point. Whatever. That'd be funny if, like, yeah, when Russell Muscle does a runner-up ranking, he puts, like, Russell towards the bottom. Does Russell Muscle make videos like that?
Console.
Like, has he done, like, any sort of ranking? Let's see. What has he done? So he did a 44 cast assessment.
Do you remember it? Anything?
Yeah, he mostly does, like... Yeah, he just talks a lot about fucking 43 and 44. How the fuck has he had this many videos about 43 and 44? Again, like, what is there to talk about? Like, literally, like, my 23-minute video is literally everything I have to say about 43 and 44. How the fuck does he have, like, 5-6 videos on 43 and 44 so far? But whatever. Yeah, he doesn't really do rankings, does he?
I think you'll disappear into her. Become part of her. Like you used to be.
Yeah, 19's a really crazy first week.
Yes.
Oh yeah, like especially having like Cody have to nominate, like his plan of like backdooring Paul and then that to be ruined, him having to go with Christmas. I don't know. I probably won't include celebrity in OTT. One, it just feels like kind of unnatural, and then also it's like celebrity like is barely a week one.
Master override activated. Restoring Minerva function to original code.
Let's just hold out the girls to Kyle. By the way, oh yeah, that's something we haven't talked about, is that Alyssa and Kyle are kind of starting a showmance-ish thing, right?
There it goes.
Their winner ranking, did he? I know, didn't Survivor Spencer do one? Like, that was, oh yeah, he did do every winner, worst to best. So that's something. His most viewed video was a Survivor 42 cast assessment video. He did a Survivor 43 quick update 2 months ago. Has a short of how Marianne won Survivor. Has the worst thing about every Survivor season. Has every winner ranked, or every Survivor winner worst to best.
Not Elizabeth.
A random like Survivor 41 episode 7 recap. Best thing about every season of Survivor. There's initial 43 leaked video.
It is our best option for a base of operations.
Yeah, stuff like that. I forgot, he is the channel. Yeah. So he is the channel that like that started off by doing like a review of every season, right? That was him. Yeah.
They will be here shortly.
Which, like, that's an interesting idea.
Okay, but don't.
Wait, why are his videos out of order?
Okay? They don't have a lot of experience with things like, well, you.
Yeah, how come when... That's kind of weird. I mean, I don't know if this is just YouTube glitching out, but yeah, like when I look at his videos, yeah, like it skips from Vanuatu to 35 for some reason. It might just be YouTube glitching out though.
No.
Because I think like when looking at the dates, it's...
Varl, so this is Gaia.
Yeah, okay. It was a glitch because I go back to normal order and it's right.
Still,
but yeah, that was weird. Yeah, again, that's an interesting like concept to start the channel.
Look around.
I will highlight the location of the lab on
They did like a video about every single Survivor season leading up to Survivor 41, like one a day, which is also like really insane.
I have established a network between your focuses, allowing you to communicate when apart.
Good. So
was this? Yeah, I've seen this. We talked about this a bit. The Eric from Survivor Mark Nietzsche has lost his mind. Man, I don't see an issue with the. I mean, like I don't. I mean, like again, saying that America is racist is like not a controversial opinion to me. It's like obviously. But oh, whatever. Yeah, yeah, so he still hasn't done a video in a while, right? He's like on vacation or whatever. So, good for Survivor Spencer.
Or maybe just a few.
So this was supposed to be
You two go
the
ahead.
lab.
I'm going to...
Okay, he hasn't dedicated all his free time to making like dumb videos. Like I
Accessing the terminal in this room will show you how to repair and complete the override.
If God gets into Showmance, he's instantly dropping out of your top 3 in the power ranking. Yeah, I mean, I think it will probably harm his overall position because I do think he's that'll definitely increase the target on his back.
Well, I was able to repair
And like I think he'll be looked at
overrides.
as the bigger threat of the
Like I need
two.
data from-
Is complete.
Because like really no one is like talking about
Explore the facility.
taking out Alyssa, right? Like I don't feel like I've seen any talk about like even like down the road of like, okay, Alyssa's gotta go. Well, like even right now they're all talking about like, okay, Kyle has to go at like final 7 or so, like towards the end game. Or like even Michael, who he has like a final 2 with and everything, is like talking about how like, yeah, I want to work with Kyle, but like we're gonna like he said, I have to take out Kyle and Amira before like the end game. So it's like, I think that'll just like him getting into a showmance and like me, and if it becomes like a blatant thing, which there are people already talking about it, that will definitely put a bit of more of a target on his back. I think my issue like BB Can. Or not BB Can, with Celebrity Big Brother week 1s is that week 1's not even really a week 1 though. It's like it's not the same, right? I'm trying to remember. Like, was it a full? I think it's like 6 days or something, right? And like also, I just think like the concept of like mixing the two lists is kind of weird. Where I think if you look at like a Big Brother ranking, the initial assumption is that okay, this is just the main series of US.
Yeah. But 2 big
And to like
ones.
just randomly include celebrity in there, just feels kind of weird. I really celebrity like I think all 3 seasons have had good starts, right? You had season 1 where like Chuck Liddell gets blindsided, for like no reason, where like they assume that he's like closer to Omarosa
We're not going to be able to fix
and
the
Keisha,
biosphere
so because that they
without you
vote him out over James.
I ran a search for your subfunctions at the Hades Proving Lab, but Minerva was the only one I found.
Thankfully, the sensory
Yeah, what was
capabilities
then?
of this
Yes,
facility
2 was the
are
same thing,
far
right? Yeah, they flipped over against Jonathan.
Search for the others now.
Actually, I'm like, it took 10 days. I didn't realize like Celebrity Brother 2 took 10 days to get to an eviction. Actually, I guess 1 too. Yeah, goddamn. Never mind. I guess it was like a full week. That's like actually kind of insane. It took them that long to get to an eviction. What the fuck? Yeah, same thing as season. Okay, interesting. I didn't realize Celebrity Big Brother had like such long week 1s. Like it's really weird considering like how short the season
What about
is.
the others?
Ether, Demeter, and Poseidon are revealed. They lie within reach.
I forgot that Teddy ended up being on the block against Todd. Because of the Nom Now.
And Hephaestus?
Or Mon Wan, whatever you want to call it.
It too stands revealed, but it is not like the others.
That's for sure.
In the years since the extinction signal, Hephaestus has evolved.
I've already talked about the image. I literally just talked about the image. I'm not going to talk about it.
Wants the global network that connects cauldrons to each other across the planet, making it exceptionally difficult to subdue.
Let me guess. We need it bad?
Oh, you finished your Best Picture ranking. How many movies is that again? That's like around 100 movies, right? If not more, right? 19... When was Wings?
Only hope of a permanent solution.
No, actually it was later, wasn't it? 27. So nearing 100 movies. 94, okay. So, that's a lot.
After my own capabilities have been
How long until Australian Survivor's canceled?
Grab the other subordinate functions first, then
I mean, like,
Hephaestus.
could be now, but, like, realistically, I think it'll probably go to season 10.
Ether, Demeter, and Poseidon.
After
How do I
that,
capture them?
we'll see. Why the fuck... Actually, I have not been looking at the screen. Why the fuck is there, like, a border around the subtitles now? That really disturbs me. What the fuck happened? Have it off. So just, like, glitch out?
Location and find the physical.
That's really weird. Why is that a thing? Okay, whatever.
Then, exactly as you did with Minerva, you must use the master over.
Yeah, I don't care enough to watch this video.
And then how do I get it
Lissa
back?
reminds you a lot of Angela, but without the showmance. Yeah, I mean, like, oh yeah, Lissa from this season. Yeah. I can definitely see that. But yeah, like now, obviously, she isn't kind of a showmance. I don't think the Kyle Tyler
The cartridge
connection
you're
is there
stored
though.
on?
Yes.
I mean, too, again, like not Tyler. Kyle is playing better than I kind of expected. Like, I mean, I thought he could do well coming into it, but like, I think he is like playing like fine, but obviously not to the Tyler level.
Maybe you can help me make sense of something. A while ago, I had a run-in with a group of strangers who tried to kill me. They had machine servitors and a
I can't believe this game only came out like what 5 months ago now. Like it feels like this has been out for forever. Yeah, it really hasn't.
Do you know who they are?
The answer to that question is related to the extinction signal that woke Hades, prompting my predecessor.
It's also, we're only like what, a month and a half away until Last of Us Part 1.
Okay, that sounds.
Which I'll be buying that, doing a review of that. I think I'm still gonna do a Plague Tale. I don't know. I'm kind of like starting to become less hyped about Plague Tale the closer we're getting to it. Where like I was super hyped for a Plague Tale coming into the year, and like I'm still like excited for it, but like I just don't know if I need to play it right away, especially with it coming out so close to God of War. Like I don't know if I need to like play these games like back to back necessarily, but I probably will still get it. I know who Eric Curto is. John Richardson. Is that the... I might know who he is.
And why does it want us?
But might not. But I definitely know who Eric Curto is.
Serious. But that's where Far Zenith, their ship.
Yeah, which...
Yes, that's where it was headed. But it blew up.
Tony's number one in Russell Muscle's winner ranking. I mean, how would he do his winner ranking? Is it like of winning games, or is it of like just ranking all the winners?
They didn't want anyone to know. They didn't want future humans to think that they were out there. Wait. The strangers who tried to kill me?
Yeah, so he's the co-host. Yeah. I've never watched any of their stuff.
They're descendants of...
But like I know who Eric Curto is though.
That is my conclusion.
So he's Nicole Anthony's best friend. Are they still doing that? I don't think they're doing that podcast anymore, right? Yeah, look at how much fucking extra dialogue there is in this game. It's like, fuck me, man. It's like, it's great on a first playthrough. But like really, unless I'm doing like a 100% playthrough afterwards, like I'm probably never gonna bother listening to these things ever again. And like trying to like pay attention to the lore.
Yes. Once we have them, we can focus on the reacquisition of Hephaestus. When that is achieved, I will have complete control.
Eric, I know is at the time of 22 was like best friends with Nicole. They had the podcast they did every day, and or every, I don't know how often they did, but like either way. I don't know where they're at now. Nicole got married, right? Nicole Anthony.
When my predecessor destroyed herself, the subordinate function sought physical processors.
I did not see a BB Hall of Fame. What BB Hall of Fame is there?
Ether is the closest, and therefore might be the easiest to acquire. However, it appears to be in the middle of Tanakh territory. My knowledge of that tribe...
Oh, we're talking about the one that like CBS released years ago? Or we're talking about a different one? If it's the one that they released like years ago, then yeah, I did see that.
What about Poseidon and Demeter?
Poseidon has taken shelter in the desert south of this location. My substratal geography data indicates that a major old world settlement...
Yeah, like Will... So CBS released one that was like Will, Danielle Reyes, Janelle, desert, Dan, Derek.
Strange place for an AI devoted to water.
Which is like... fine.
As for Demeter, it appears to be located on the coast to the far west. Unfortunately, I am unable to provide any relevant data about the region. As such, it may be the most difficult to retrieve.
She's engaged to a guy named Lefty.
So
yeah,
I think
it's like a. Isn't he like
somewhere in Tanakh territory?
Like
Poseidon in the desert.
He's like a disabled guy or something, right? Something like that. Yeah, Brian Lefty Fontenez? That's something. He has cerebral palsy. That's what it is. So good for him. I guess he has a Twitch account. So well, again, also good for him. It was fake. Someone said CBS made an official Hall of Fame. Oh. Actually, yeah, you don't have to. I guess we can do it in a random order, can't we?
Very well. Demeter will now appear as the objective on your focus. Acquiring it might allow me to reduce rampant plant growth on a local level. Though I will require Hephaestus and the control over machines that it offers to permanently stabilize the biosphere. Should you change your mind, you can update your objective via your focus interface at any time.
The fake Hall of Fame thing. Will, Dan, Derek, Danielle, Tyler, Cody, Vanessa, Ian. Is this that bad? I mean, like, Enzo is, like, obviously weird, but, like, outside of Enzo, like, it's not that bad.
I do, don't I?
But yeah, I think if, like, this was actually a CBS... By the way, this is a terrible Photoshop, also. Like, I don't know how anyone believed this was a real thing.
I don't know.
But...
It's just that...
Like, this is actually, like, not that bad of a group of people. Like, I feel like, again, the 5 people I mentioned earlier...
A lot has gone
which I believe that is an
all on
official
my
CBS
to
thing.
fix it. Do you think I can do it all? Repair the system, defeat Varzenith, live up to her example?
It was on CBS's website.
Absolutely. In her last message, my predecessor declared her unwavering...
Like, obviously it's not like a real Hall of Fame, but yeah, like, it's on... yeah, it's at CBS.com. I think it's from their magazine, right? They did. So again, like, Will, Danielle, Janelle, Dan, Derek. Like, that feels about right. Like, obviously this adds in Tyler. It's, like, fine. I mean, like, I think it's too early, but fine. Cody, I mean, like, I think as time goes on, again, probably also. Vanessa, again. Like, I think it's, like, those people I think are probably, like, a bit too early. Ian, it's like, but I can get it. Evil Dick, it's like, again, I don't like Evil Dick as a player, but I can get it.
Be right there.
Boogie, maybe not. Janelle, obviously. Rachel, obviously. June, and again, also the assumption that CBS cares about June at all, I think is like humorous. That they like people actually think that this, like, if people actually thought this was real, it's like once you see June on there and Nokomis on there, I think it's like again, this is not what CBS would do nowadays. And Brittany's like fine. But yeah, I think those initial 5 are probably the 5 that I would pick. Is Will, Dan, Derek, Danielle, Janelle. Maybe maybe add in Rachel if we're doing 6. I think that would probably be my Hall of Fame. Yeah, CBS is not acknowledging Nokomis nowadays. They don't give a shit about Nokomis.
I need to bring Demeter back.
I do find like the Enzo one really funny though. Like, why did the person who made it decide to put Enzo? Like, I'm assuming that was like the meme thing to put on there, but it is funny to think that like of all the fucking Big Brother players, like Enzo is one of the people that they would look at super highly. I mean, yeah, like for me, Hall of Fame doesn't need to be like you being a good player. I think it mostly like is based around like your legacy on the show.
Make her stronger.
Because if we're doing the top players all the time, then yeah, like obviously like Janelle and Rachel wouldn't be in that initial batch, or like even like influential players. I guess I'm too fair. I guess Janelle, you could definitely say is an influential player.
Actually, I'm gonna go back.
Rachel, again, maybe not, but.
Look.
Yeah, like, I mean, I think it's more so about legacy than it is about them actually being good players.
Like you said, Gaia can teach us, catch us up. It'll be okay.
Oh yeah, I feel like Nicole would be on there over like Ian or something.
One to wear.
Or even like over June and Nokomis.
Are you going with him?
If like CBS themselves were actually to do it.
After what happened in the cave below, I want to stay.
Yeah, Devon.
There is
I don't know. I think Tiffany would definitely
Maybe by the
be a
time we
contender
get back,
moving forward.
I'll have a thing or two I can teach you.
I really like. I think like for me with
When will you be back?
with Hall of Fame, if I were to make a Hall of Fame, I feel like anything
But
post
hopefully I'll have one of
BB,
Gaia's
probably
missing
post BB
components, maybe.
16,
Be
I would
careful
say
out
is a
there.
bit too
Even in
recent.
Plainsong, we heard how the Tenakth clanlands are suffering from storms.
Like I think we're
Machines
down. Like I think we need.
Worry about me.
I don't know. I guess like really it's kind of arbitrary, but like probably like 5 years, which in that case I guess it's BB 19. And also Paul not being there over like some of those people. I think Paul will definitely be on CBS's list.
Clanlands. Somewhere
Um.
out there's 3 of Gaia's
Oh fuck!
subfactions.
Did not mean to do that. See, I guess we're just gonna do it out of order because why not? I think I did that in my replay, didn't I? Or maybe I didn't because of levels. Yeah, maybe I didn't. So yeah, fuck it. Let's do it. Let's do it out of order.
What else?
Can you fucking backtrack? Thank you. Okay, well that scared the shit out of me. I'll be honest. Like I thought the game just fucking crashed. Will Survivor ever make, or will Big Brother ever make 40 seasons? Yes, I think it will. I'm too fair. That is like 16 years away, though, isn't it? That's a while. But if you were to make me bet on whether or not I'll make it, I would bet on yes. Trackpad on your laptop isn't working? That's kind of shit. I do know that my trackpad's like kind of laggy at points, which is kind of
Be
annoying.
able to heal all of it. Once Gaia is strong enough to capture Hephaestus.
Especially when like editing and everything. Not I shouldn't say lagging. It's more so like there's points where like it seems to freeze up.
I don't know what they're up to.
So that's kind of annoying me. Especially because that's something actually I noticed that I never click. Like I don't click ever at this point. Like I use the trackpad for pretty much everything.
Gonna have to watch my step.
Like I can't even think of like I don't know if I've ever actually used the actual button, like the actual left and right buttons on my trackpad. Like I've only used the touchpad. I mean, June's always been like, again, June at number 10 has always been like essentially like my number 10 on my Big Brother top 10 is like a spot that is swapped out like pretty much every time I'm going to make the list, I think. Because like I don't have a solid top 10. So it's like the number 10 spot is like, it doesn't really matter to me. It's like just a number of people can qualify for it. Like June is one of those people, but again, if I were to redo it now, like I think if we're going to do it purely on gameplay, I probably wouldn't have June top 10. As again, I talked about this in the video that isn't out yet, but like, I think Drew is technically probably a better player than June in my eyes. But a major reason why I didn't want to put Drew in the top 10 videos is because like I felt like it was just a lot of the same style of players in the top 10. Like to have Cody, Hayden, and Drew all top 10, and like they're all like very similar players, to where it just felt like kind of samey. So I wanted to have someone like a bit different. And it's like again, like the top 10, like number 10 doesn't really matter that much. So again, like this is like a thing that will probably be rectified if I do the top 10, or if I end up ranking every Big Brother player. So like I think that would be my genuine top 10. But like when I make a top 10 Big Brother player of all time, like the number 10 spot doesn't matter to me. Just because I don't have anyone like super solidified. So it's like it's more so used to like put someone that is again in consideration, but like someone that is probably a bit different than the other people who are like more locked in to be on the list. And same thing goes for Survivor to a degree. Where again, that was like kind of what happened with Sophie. Where I had her on my top 10. Which again will definitely be different now. Okay, oh, cool. What a masterpiece. Can you get down, please? Thank you. Yeah, Devon definitely is a great confessionalist. Like, for me, I wouldn't necessarily have her, like, top of mind as a Hall of Fame person, especially because like she never had like a good run in the game. Or like for me, like Brittany, like at least made top 4, and also had like a super notable exit at that in the top 4. Well, it's like with Devon, it's like she was second boot on BB17, and like it had a notable run, but it was still like second boot. And then like she had 11th place and then 10th place. It's like she's never made it past 10th place. It's like it does feel kind of weird for me to have her like as a top contender for Hall of Fame. Like now down the road, like I don't know, after like 20 people or so are in, then yeah, like Devon can make it on. But like for me, she's not like someone that I'm like putting in right away. Will Amazing Race make 40 seasons? I mean, like that's only 6 seasons away at this point. So maybe. Well, like I wouldn't be surprised if they like say, okay, 40 seasons is our last season or something like that. Like we're gonna go all out for 40, and that'll be it for a show. Like I wouldn't be that surprised at that. But I think it definitely could make 40, but it's definitely not as secure as like the other shows making other big milestones. Considering I do think Amazing Race is the show that's the most in danger. But I think it's still like relatively safe in the grand scheme of like TV, to where like I don't see Amazing Race really getting canceled, but I just think it's going to be a show that's like on the back burner for CBS, where it's like they're going to probably do like one a year or so. It's going to be on in a time slot that they don't give a shit about. They're more so going to do it just because like it's a cheap show to make. Okay, what the fuck game? It's a cheap show to make, and it does good enough ratings for them. But again, I don't think they actually care that much about the show. Where would Devon be on BBUS player ranking? Probably like near the middle, if not maybe lower than that. But like if I were to like guess, I would say like pretty much like right in the middle. But yeah, that's like without putting much real thought into it. I think BB Besties will work. I don't know. Hopefully it's not going to be like this like tethered style twist. I'm hoping it's not that. I don't know if it's going to be, I don't know, like could it be like the duos in like BB13? Could that be a thing? I don't know. I'm kind of worried, but like also don't really care that much at this current point. But I do think by the way that they talk about it as if it's this like big like way, like this big thing that's going to change the way the game is played, which I think that is kind of worrying. But again, we don't know much at all right now, so who knows? Hopefully it's nothing, or at least if it is something, it's like nothing too disastrous. But I don't have much faith in CBS to do something like that. Or Big Brother Production, I should say, to do something like that. Yeah, it matters how the pairs work and everything. And if it's a situation where like they're nominated together, will only one of them go home, or if it's a situation where like they have to play as one essentially. I do feel like there's a lot up in the air there. I don't think AU is going to ever have an all newbie cast, personally, moving forward. And even if it does, then it'll be still filled with like sports stars and that sort of thing. Like I don't see, how far away am I still? I'm still like a decent ways. Yeah, I don't see AU ever doing like a full blown all newbie, all normal people season. Is Jason Guy in my Hall of Fame? Again, not like the first batch. I think like by the time we get to like, I don't know, like year 4 or something, then maybe. But he's definitely not like top of mind of like someone that needs to be in right away. Okay, I'm also fucking this up again. Oh wait, my thing's blocked too? Well, that's perfect. Focus. This is such shit. Whatever. We'll go around. All newbie cast be the winners of a quarter of AU. Okay, what am I stuck on? Okay, this is just idiotic. Like, what the fuck? Thank you. I would not be surprised if BBAU did fucking fans versus favorites for season 9. That seems very BBAU of them. Andy is not in my Hall of Fame if I was to do it by, like, legacy and everything. Like, I don't think Andy would, like, be anywhere close to the top, really. Where it's like, again, Andy is, like, one of the best players of all time. But he's definitely not someone that, like... I don't think he's, like, someone that, one, has a massive legacy in the Big Brother community. Or, like, within, like, the series as a whole. And then also, like, yeah, like, I don't think he's, like... I don't think the style of game that he played is something that, like... that fundamentally changed the game. Like, I don't think it's, like, something that, like, people bring up as, like, okay, I need to play like Andy. Okay, what the fuck is going... Can you just, like, fucking ride, like, normal? Okay, whatever. Let's just get off. Like, really shit here. Yeah, honestly, I don't think it's helped by the fact that, like, production doesn't like Andy. And, like, doesn't like BB15. To where, like, I think that obviously, like, decreases the chances of Andy being, like, referenced on the show, or like him being shown to, like, people that were recruited and that sort of thing. Like, I just don't think Andy is, like, top of mind at all for most people. So it's like, yeah, like, if we're getting, like, deep into the for the Hall of Fame and everything, then yeah, like, I would probably put Andy in there at some point, but he's definitely not, like, I don't think he's, like, within the first, like, 20 people or so that I'm putting in. Is this the right path? It's not. Wait, where am I? What is this? Oh, it's just nothing. Cool. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, even Andy, like, I don't know if Andy's within the first, like, 5 years of Hall of Fame. Yeah, he's definitely, like, eventually in there, I think. But it's like, okay, like, I think the initial batch is the 5-dimension. And you got Will, Dan, Derek, Janelle, Danielle. I think next batch you got, like, what, like, Rachel. Oh, who's the next woman that you would put in? Like, I get, like, June would be up there. Like, I mean, like, does Nokomis make it on? Like, I think Nokomis' placement's, like, kind of finicky to me. Oh, yes, this is the right path now. Just because, yeah, I've always felt like she gets, like, too much credit for the creation of the back door. I think Dick is pretty, like, Dick might be in that second batch. But, like, as much as I don't think Dick is that good of a player, and I don't think I think his winning game's, like, really bad. Like, he's still a very influential player on the show. Where, like, you have, like, a whole bunch of people saying that they want to play, like, Evil Dick for some fucking reason. And, like, he was, like, a massive fan favorite at the time. I mean, like, probably Big Jeff makes it on before, like, Andy and, like, people, like, of that caliber to me. Yeah, when do you eventually get around to putting Big Jeff on? That's something that's something I do wonder. I mean, if I'm doing a Survivor Hall of Fame, I think the first batch is what, Rob, Parvati, Sandra, Tony, and then I guess Hatch. It's probably the first 5.
I'll keep some extra on hand.
I don't know. Jordan is like another one that's like maybe eventually. I feel like I would have Jeff in there first before Jordan, but Jordan would definitely probably make the cut eventually. Oh yeah, Neil from BB9 will definitely be in there. I mean, he is technically. I believe he's the only person in the history of Big Brother to not get a DR, right? That might be wrong, but I believe that's the case. How long until Julie quits? I think you'll have to wait until they fire her. I don't think she has any intention of leaving. At least for sure, like for a while. Again, like obviously, like when she gets like 80 years old or something, yeah, but. Yeah, I mean Russell could make it. I don't think Russell. I think Russell's probably in my second. Again, if we're doing it in batches of 5, I think Russell's probably in my second batch. I don't know, actually, does Russell make it in over Tony in the first batch? Because like Russell's probably a more influential player than Tony.
Champion of the Trader Regala.
Obviously, Tony's like a 2-time winner now and everything, but like if this was before Winners at War, Russell would make it on before Tony for sure. Right now, bit of a question. But I think Russell's definitely in the next batch, at least. Yeah, Colby and Jared, Rupert, I think would be up there. I think Tyson might wait a little bit for me personally. Yeah, so I think next batch, say you got... So what, it's Rupert? I'm like, I think I would have Rupert. Probably Rupert, Russell... Would it be Colby? Or would it be someone else? Like, would Tom Westman be there instead of Colby? Oh, okay. Perfect. What the fuck? Natalie Anderson wouldn't be in my, like, top 10. I don't even know if she makes, like, top 20. Like, I should probably would make top 20. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Like, Jeremy would have to squeak his way on there at some point, too.
Talmud must be the one sending the signal. Ludwig's holding up?
Coach would definitely be on there at some point. I mean, who's in the actual Hall of Fame? I don't remember who actually ended up getting on. I remember, like, didn't Rupert end up being, like, one of the last people to get in? When was the Hall of Fame, like, when did that finish? Let's see. The Survivor Hall of Fame. So 2016 was the final year. Which was what? Was that Game Changers? So I think that was around the time of Game Changers, right? See, that was right before Game Changers. Or might have actually been before Millennium Generation X. I think it was mid-20. Yeah, so it was probably after Go Wrong. So Tony, I believe Tony got in the first time he was eligible. So the first batch was Parvati. So I mean, it's essentially the first batch was essentially who I said, just swapping Tony with Russell, which again that fully makes sense. Second batch, Sari, Ozzy, Tom. I mean, they only did by 3 people after that. Okay. Yeah, if we're only doing 3 people a year after that, I think it definitely makes it a lot tougher. Wait, was Colby never put on here? I just realized Colby never even made it into the Hall of Fame. They went with Ethan first instead. And Colby never got on. Interesting, I actually didn't even notice that. Based on legacy, how long does Kim take? I don't know. I mean, like, Kim is on here. And it only took her what? Actually, she actually might have got put on the first time she was eligible. Because when was One World? One World was 2011, right? So this is only two. So that's kind of interesting, actually. Kim, Cochran, Fairplay were that year. Funny that Cochran's in there. Actually, Rudy made it on too. Actually, so Jerry made it on, but not Jerry and Tina made it on, but not Colby. That's kind of funny. But yeah, kind of surprised it took Rupert as long as it did. Where like I would have had Rupert on there way before I would have had like Ethan. Personally. Yeah, I think Rupert would probably be in. Like, if we're only doing batches of 3, I think Rupert. Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing, though. Yeah, I think that would. Like, I do have that listed in my list of video ideas, is like to talk about the Hall of Fame. I think it would be interesting to like run through, like my own, like personal Hall of Fame. How far away are we? We're still okay, we're almost there, actually. Oh, yeah, that's it right there, right? Well, Amazing Race Hall of Fame? I don't think they give a shit enough to do Amazing Race Hall of Fame. Actually, who would be Amazing Race? Like, I legitimately don't even know who CBS would even put on the Amazing Race Hall of Fame. Like, who do they even look at as, like, Hall of Famers for Amazing Race? Like, is it, like, the Globetrotters? Jet and Cord? Like, I legitimately don't know who they would even put on there.
Hold your fire! I'm not here to fight!
The barbarian's pinned down. Move in!
Okay, whoever these people are, it looks like...
Now, yeah, maybe. Yeah, oh yeah, Afghanimals. Yeah, for sure, Afghanimals. I don't know. It's just weird to me. The way that, like, CBS treats Amazing Race. Probably Brooke and Claire would make it on just from, like, the watermelon moment, right? Yeah, Colin Christie, I think, would probably make it on. Yeah, I don't know. I legitimately do not know, like, especially, like, from a CBS point of view. Like, who CBS is actually, like, high on. Margie and Luke, maybe. I guess they're like kind of in the same ballpark as the Globetrotters and the other one, Jet and Cord. Them being the 3-time racers. Because like, I mean, the thing with Amazing Race is that I feel like Amazing Race is a show that like it's probably the least dependent on the winner of the show. Where like I feel like most winners of Amazing Race are like quickly forgotten about from a CBS point of view. Like I guess Will and James is someone that they probably like. Well, like I don't know what their opinions on like Kim and Penn. I guess Colin Christie they were probably pretty high on at the time, but like I guess Justin Cody just because of Justin Cody. But like, I don't know, like Brooke and Scott, I don't know how like CBS really feels about Brooke and Scott. Like Dana and Matt, I can assure you they don't give a shit about Dana and Matt. I can assure you they don't give a shit about Kelsey and Joey. Like actually, to be fair, now I'm thinking about it, I do think like recent Amazing Race winners have been like better TV than they used to be. Winners are fucking boring, and I think for the most part it is kind of true. But like, I do think recently they've definitely had a better track record. Yeah, Robin Amber's probably in there. Flo and Zach. I don't think they remember Flo and Zach at this point. Brad for Amazing Race? Why not? I wouldn't. I think that'd be
Looks
pretty
like some
fun.
sort of old office complex.
Who would he go on though with? I guess his wife or something.
Send this to my stash.
The Greenhouse. Federal Automated Solutions industry-leading biotech research facility. Agritech.
Each and Joyce. I mean, like, I don't think they're talked about anymore. Yeah, I do think All Stars kind of like lessened their legacy, where like All Stars was like kind of a middling performance for them. And to be fair, I personally never looked at them as that great of a team. Oh, wait. I'm an idiot. But yeah, I do think like overall their legacy as racers isn't necessarily the greatest. But I think like in terms of like how the show perceives them, they're just not talked about. And again, like a lot of Amazing Race history is not really talked about from CBS's point of view. Which is what makes it like tough to really gauge what CBS feels about a lot of these teams, especially because like a lot of teams don't end up coming back. Like there aren't a lot of returnees from Amazing Race. And like to be honest, I would have said Colin and Christie were probably forgotten about had they not come back for 31. But it turns out they brought them back. So again, don't really know. What do I need here? Like I know I need to get the vine cutter thing, but how do you do that?
There must be a way to get to the other side of that door.
Oh, to scan this? Is that what it is? Cool. Oh. Wait, that's the one I opened, right? Oh, it's not. Oh, okay. Well, Challenge Hall of Fame? I mean, like, I think you got, like, Bananas West CT for guys right away. Women, probably, like, Laurel Cara Maria. Veronica. What else is there?
A room with no way out. Great.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably, like, the initial batch.
A log.
John A, I don't think John A makes it yet. Again, like, I think John A, like, I don't know how much consideration they're really putting All-Stars into if they were doing Hall of Fame, and then also it's like, I think it's like 1, too recent, and 2, it's like, it's All-Stars. Like, I feel like she would have to, like, come back and win, like, a main series season, to truly be in contention for me. And then also, like, I don't know if she can. I talked about this in the All-Stars 3 review, right? I feel like I didn't talk about it as much because, like, it wasn't something that I kind of realized until pretty late into the process of making the video. But, like, I feel like John A is just the perfect, like, type of competitor for All-Stars in particular. To where, like, I don't know how she fares on the main show. And, like, I don't expect it to go, like, that well. But, like, I just feel like she is, like, perfectly skilled for what All-Stars test, which is a much less physical version of the main show, and is also one that is, like, includes a lot more puzzles and a lot more, like, mental challenges. And I feel like that's, like, exactly what Jeanne excels in.
These guys again.
To where, like, again, like, I think she's, like, perfect for All-Stars, but I don't know if she's, like, gonna do that well if she were to go on the main show and compete against the Caseys and Laurels and that sort of fields in, like, a more physical game. Wait, do I just go through here? Oh, you do. Okay. I mean, squeeze. Weekend was fine, I guess. Worked for most of it, but also, like, still ended up getting a whole bunch of videos done for some reason. And also watched a lot of Amazing Race Australia, so that was something.
How can the legacy have led us here?
Damn it. Oh yeah, actually I don't know. I think they would put Veronica on. I mean, Veronica's hasn't been that far removed from the show, so like I feel like they would still put Veronica. But I wouldn't be that surprised if they also put Nani on though. And to be fair, like where MTV is at right now, they probably wouldn't put Kara on. You never know. You really like Kyle's challenge competitor? I mean, like, he's fine. I think he was fun, like, when he started. I think, like, after, like, 6 or 7 seasons or whatever in a row, it starts to get a bit old. Okay, cool. God damn it. Whatever. Yeah, I think Darrell will probably make a Hall of Fame. Like, for me, I don't think he would be above, like, CT West or Bananas. But I think probably, like, in the second batch, I think he's definitely in there. Coral is, like... I don't know. Like, I mean, like, I would probably have her win the second batch, I think. But, like, I don't know if MTV would have her nowadays. I think Mark would probably make it eventually. And then, I think I think they're still high on Rachel, right? Excuse me? How the fuck did I get injured that much? Wait, who's shooting at me? Like, everyone's supposed to be dead. How did I even get shot?
That's promising.
Whatever. Same Devin. We're talking about Devin. Oh, Devin. Like recent Devin, right? I was like, for me, when I think of like Devin in Challenge, for some reason, I think of Devin Simone. Not fucking Devin Walker, whatever the fuck his name is. Yeah, I think Devin's fine. Again, he's really massive ham, and Superficial Kyle is too. But
where did you get that focus?
Yeah, I still think he's an interesting character. I think it'll be interesting to see how he gets along with Bananas on this season. Mind you, I'm assuming they're going to be friendly, which is going to be disappointing. But
Legacy, huh?
The legacy.
It'll be interesting to see how that works out.
Darkness and the lost places.
Concerning their
Among
rivalry.
the ancient ashes and the bones of the before that it lies waiting. You know, as a diviner, it is my task to seek it out for the good of my people.
You're looking for data. Maybe we can help each other. What's your name?
Alva. Second diviner of the Eastern Expedition.
Oh, interesting. I'll be honest, like, I have not paid attention, like, that close attention to A&W this year. Like, I've been watching it, I've been taking notes, but I haven't, like, paid super close attention to, like, I just saw on Reddit that someone just posted a list of, like, all the people that aren't there, and, like, I actually did not realize how many, like, big names didn't compete this season.
So why come now?
Like, I knew Daniel Gill, because obviously, but like, yeah, I didn't realize Jake Murray wasn't there. That's a pretty big surprise. Even though I know he talked about retiring, but I think he'd actually do it. No Matissa Wadi, no Megan Martin, who I believe took a year off. No Michael Torres, which I think is a surprise. No Grant McCartney, which is another one that's a surprise. Yeah, I don't care about talking either. But yeah, there's some
found any data that mentions
surprising people.
No. But I did find something that looks like a map, but it was unreadable. Lost.
Maybe I can.
This is the newest Survivor player that will be likely for a Hall of Fame. If we're talking about like newest first-time player,
there's a lot of files here.
Probably Rick Devens.
I've been through all of them.
Like realistic Hall of Fame, like Rick Devens. Like my Hall of Fame, like maybe Tommy, but like I think like a realistic Hall of Fame, I think probably Rick Devens.
Like I said, a lost file.
You can't see the map?
Like outside that, it's like,
It's okay.
I don't know how David vs. Goliath fares. It's like, would Nick really make a Hall of Fame? I don't know. And then at that point, like, are they really putting Christian
But I could share
or
them.
Davey? It's like, I don't know if they're like Hall of Fame worthy necessarily. Like Angelina, is Angelina like in there? Oh, like I was then after Dom and Wendell, I think are the easy ones. But yeah, I think Devon's would at least be in consideration. But I think like Dom and Wendell are probably the biggest locks to where like they're for sure Hall of Fame contenders.
There.
Imagine Rick Devens getting on before Earl. I would not be that surprised if they did a real one. I don't know. I think Earl's like legacy now is like grown to the point where like I think if they continue to do Hall of Fame moving forward, I think Earl would probably be on it by now. But yeah, Ben for sure would be on it too. I think Ben would be on the first opportunity, which would have been 39, or like the break between 38 and 39. So yeah, I think he definitely would have been on. Yeah, I want to do this at some point. I do want to run through the Hall of Fame and then talk about who like would have been on by now if they continued. I think that would be a fun video.
I'm not sure.
As your ranking, No Country for Old Men, number 1. Again, that would be pretty high on mine too. Return of the King. I really need to rewatch Lord of the Rings. Like, I don't feel like I have a proper like outlook on Lord of the Rings, just because like I haven't like last time I watched it was like 6-7 years ago. And like I liked it a lot more than like when I was a kid. I did not like Lord of the Rings, and I rewatched it again like 6-7 years ago, and I liked it more. But like it's still like not been like super notable in my mind. To where like I feel like I definitely need to rewatch it and like get a proper sense of it.
There should be another exit further in. Just
Like Schindler's List. You like Schindler's List that much? I mean, it's not my thing. Then Spotlight's good. Parasite, Silence of the Lambs would also probably be high on mine. I don't remember In the Heat of the Night. I know I watched it, but I barely remember it. Godfather. I feel like Godfather's not one I need to rewatch. You have Titanic that high. That seems high for Titanic. Rocky. I forgot Rocky won Best Picture. That's kind of insane to me. Kramer versus Kramer. Let's see. You have Mutiny on the Bounty really high. Or relatively high. That's something. Actually, now I look, I think I probably would have Birdman 1. I think. I don't know. Like, for me, it's like, I think very high. Argo would be very high. American Beauty would be very high. The Departed would be very high. I'm just going through the rest. I think those are probably... I mean, like, Midnight Cowboy would be pretty high. What else is there? That might be it. You have Crash at the very bottom. That makes sense. Yeah, I think those are probably the ones for me. That'd be very high. Yeah, I haven't watched a lot of these bottom-ranked ones. I never watched Tom Jones. I never watched the Broadway Melody. I did watch Cimarron. I don't know how you pronounce it, but don't remember it that well. And yeah, really a lot of these bottom place ones. I don't remember particularly well. I never watched Green Book. Anyway, yeah, I think it would be fun to do like a massive film ranking like that at some point for me. Like do it on channel, but obviously that would take so much time. Would Danny be on Hall of Fame? We're talking with Danny Boatwright. Probably not. I don't know. I mean, how many more opportunities would there be? 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So it's 18 more people. Is she in the next 18 people? I don't think so. I think there's probably 18. And really, if we're talking about women, then like, let's say 9 women slots. I don't think she makes it, but I guess you never know. What's that I'm supposed to do? Oh, okay. Yeah, I know about the Amazon show. I haven't looked into it at all, though.
through
I'll
here.
probably end up watching it just because I can, but I'm not like super excited for it or anything. Okay, can you just run? Thank you. How likely is season 50 Jeff's last season? I'd say like 25%. I think there's a chance for sure, but I mean like 25 or 50 is like, what is that? That is what is that? 4 years away, right? Something like that. How old will Jeff be? He'll be like, he will be 64. Ooh, it's kind of getting up there. I mean, I think 60 is a spot that I see that being like the reasonable break-off point for Jeff. At that point, he'll be nearing 70 years old. Yeah, I feel like that seems about right to from my point of view. But yeah, 50 is definitely there's a chance of that too. Yeah, I mean, like, also, yeah, 64, I guess, is, like, pretty much retirement age, too. So that, I guess that's something to factor in. Yeah, I mean, I guess, actually, yeah, now you think about it, American Beauty is kind of problematic nowadays, isn't it?
Only the ancestors know why.
I mean, I fucking loved American Beauty when I watched it back in the day, but, yeah, I guess nowadays it probably doesn't age well with the Kevin Spacey stuff. And I guess really just in general, like the overall thing of a...
Follow my lead.
Okay, why is the lighting fucked? What the fuck was that? Like on Aloy, that just looked fucked.
Just looking up for the hunt.
Okay. Watch more Decker Ranger while you like I'm getting tired of overacting. I mean, like, in terms of, are you talking about, like, just the over, I don't know. Like, I think that's just, like, yeah, it's kind of just, like, Japanese, like, kid shows, I guess. Oh.
They're done! We should get going!
But I feel like Decker Ranger is probably a show that I don't know if it would age well for me. Or like I feel like obviously I liked it at the time. However, I feel like because it is so like episodic and everything, I feel like I probably wouldn't like it nowadays. But you never know. Am I looking forward to playing Skate 4? Not really. I really don't give a shit at this point. And to be fair, I barely gave a shit to begin with. Like, I've always been a big Tony Hawk guy. I've never been the biggest Skate fan. Like, I mean, I played the first game and I enjoyed it, but it's never like been a thing of like, oh my god, I'm dying for Skate 4. Even though like, I know a lot of other people were. And like, obviously we're getting Skate 4 now. It's like it's gonna be free to play and that sort of thing. It's like I really don't care. It's really just not a big priority for me. Yeah, I have it listed as like doing a best picture ranking on my list of video ideas. It's just like that's so much time to put into something that is like not gonna. I assume won't do well. I mean, to be fair, like it's not all the run possible that something like that could do well, but it would obviously be from like most people outside of my like current audience. And again, it's really like again, so much time has to be put into that because like I would essentially have to rewatch everything. Like I don't think I could get by doing that with like my current thoughts on all the movies. I would have to literally just rewatch them all. And that would just be like a really long process. Because I mean, let's say so it's like 2 hours each, right? Let's just say it's 2 hours each. for each movie. 94 movies, so that's 180 plus hours. Yeah, it's definitely a lot of time to be committing to. Also, a video that's also probably gonna take forever to make, considering how long of a list it is.
I've never seen anyone fight machines like you do.
Yeah, I think in retrospect, like SPD for me, I think is like probably a overall like big improvement over Deca Ranger. Well, like, I think the like faults I have with SPD are like fixed, or the faults I have with Deca Ranger are kind of fixed in SPD, where I do make it a bit more like I do add in a more solid like storyline through all of it. I think the characters overall are a lot more complex and given like more satisfying arcs. Funny how I streamed the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater for the 41 Pro. I mean, the thing is, like, again, like at the end of the day, like that was just like I wanted to have something to stream that I could just like barely pay attention to. And like at the time, I didn't really have anything like I was like really wanting to free roam necessarily. So I was like, okay, let's just play Tony Hawk for a bit. Especially because like also that that was a stream where I had stuff going on the next day, right? Like I had to get up like super early the next day, so like I couldn't go for like super long. There we go.
Behind you.
Doing they make it to 100, yeah. Yeah, in the celebration of the 100th Oscars, make a fucking Best Picture ranking.
Is this easy?
Okay, which one is it again?
Maybe we can get through that hatch on the ground. It looks like the one we used at the first station. There's consoles up here too.
But no way to get to them. You stay put.
I
I'll
love
see what I can
Power
find.
Rangers Star Force. It's one of my favorite seasons.
This one won't budge. Maybe one of the others.
Like I have my Power Ranger. Like for me, the top 3 seasons are Lost Galaxy, Time Force, In Space.
There we go. Huh. There's some space back there.
Where like Lost Galaxy is the season I have the most nostalgia for. It's definitely the most flawed of the 3, but like I personally like always had a connection to it as my first season. And then I also do like the much like darker tone of it all. Time Force I think is probably like, technically the best season they've done.
Yeah. If you can hop on top of it, I can get you to those consoles.
And then even though there's like a lot of dumb plot holes in it too, but it's fine. What am I talking about? Yeah, RPM is the best season they've done, technically. I think the problem with RPM is like production issues, in the sense that they like they ran out of money and they swapped showrunners midway through, and I think you can kind of tell in like some inconsistencies because of that. But like RPM is really good though. But yeah, In Space is obviously like a perfect conclusion to the Zordon era.
You still down
Though it's like, oh yeah, not without its flaws. There's definitely some like really shit filler episodes. But again, it's mostly good. I think I did see that, didn't I? That yeah, Nico said that he wanted to do a host versus like other people first season. Was that Nico, or maybe I'm like mixing that with another show? I feel like it probably was Nico though. But yeah, I did see like someone said they wanted to do hosts versus something else, which is like why?
I can't get past it. My mission here is doomed.
I'll help. If I can, okay? But first we have to get out of here.
Again, my personal favorite Power Rangers season is Lost Galaxy.
Okay, let's see. Okay. I'm unlocking a storage unit.
Is it the best? No. But it's my personal favorite.
There should be a power cell inside. Then you need to find a way into the generator room.
Okay, I'm on it.
Are we talking about like Survivor hosts, or are we talking about like just hosts in general?
I found the energy cell.
I mean, either way, it's still dumb. It's still like a really random like theme. But like I do think hosts in general probably is better than like just random Survivor hosts. It's like such a small field of people. What am I doing? Or do I have to climb up?
Doesn't look
I
like
don't
the
remember.
generator's in this room. It has to be somewhere else.
Oh, it's this. Okay, I remember now. My Nike or Adidas guy, I don't care. Whatever shoes fits. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, to be honest, I couldn't even tell you what shoes I currently wear. Like, it literally does not matter to me.
Would you mind warning me next time you decide to, blow up a wall?
I'll, try.
Where am I going? Oh, yeah, I have to find the... Is it that I have to find the battery? Wait. Oh, I have to take the battery from, like, one of these, right? There it is. That's that one. Oh, what's my favorite Power Ranger? I think I misread the question from earlier. It's probably Leo from Lost Galaxy. Again, not because he's the like best character in the world, even though I do think he's a very strong one. But yeah, it's a lot of it nostalgia based.
On my way.
Yeah, like I think if we're talking about like who's the best character in terms of best written, yeah, like I think like a decent amount of RPM characters are up there. Again, like you got Wes. I feel like there's others. I'm just like for some reason blanking on. I mean, like I always loved TJ also.
I'll get to the other console. You stay here.
Ready when you are.
Okay, you ready? On 2.
I've always loved Jack
2.
from SPD and Sky. Both of them are pretty strong. Carter, I've always loved Carter too. Even though Carter's like a pretty like one-note character, like he's not, he doesn't really develop at all, but he's like still a really fun character though to me.
Okay, that's where we need to go.
Lost Galaxy theme reminds you of the TMNT theme. Does it? Like I feel like it's not like a comparison I've ever thought about.
No. How do I shut this thing off?
Yeah, Billy. Like of the original Rangers, I would say Billy's probably. I'm like really all of them are like terribly written in season 1. Obviously, like through Billy like staying on the show for as long as he does, even though he's written out terribly. Like obviously he's the one that shows like the most development over the course of the series. Well, I think what would happen if Blood vs. Water had a Final 2 and still Final 3, it matters who wins Final Immunity. If it's Shay, then she probably votes out
What did we just see?
Mark, and then Chrissy wins. But then again, at that point, if it's a Final 2, then I don't think Mark votes out Josh at 4.
Let's meet both.
So, I think that is something that changes there. So I think instead they probably vote out Chrissy, and then Shay probably does take Mark over Josh. And then Mark probably beats Shay unanimously. So I'm like, really? Mark probably wins anyway, but the path there is kind of different. Maybe I'm like just not remembering the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle theme correctly.
Infinite food for infinite machines. And now we're racing against time to find something to give them indigestion. Well, it works. War machines.
How far in the stream are we? It's 2:17. Okay, so we're like 3 hours in or so. Yeah, like I feel like I really thought we would be getting through this game a lot quicker than what we are.
Your ancestors?
Whatever.
They were wiped out.
So we'll definitely finish this mission here. I don't know if we're gonna do another mission.
Most of the data about that is lost or forbidden.
Well, they created
Least favorite Power Ranger season? It's probably Samurai.
You just saw how.
And then Megaforce back to back.
I don't want to know this.
Yeah, I think they're both like really terrible.
I need the wisdom of my ancestors to help.
Like I think realistically, it probably is I think Megaforce is probably the worst like product they've ever released. Of the ones I've watched.
Or even worse, people.
Well, I think like Samurai is the most like offensive to me in the sense that it's literally them just copy and pasting, and like not even trying.
Left her when she was 14. Already, you could see her bones.
Whereas like at least Megaforce, they at least tried to make their own. Like at least like isn't just copying the Sentai, but again they're doing a fucking terrible job at every little thing in Megaforce. Where like all the characters are super flat. They don't give them any development throughout the entire story. Like most of the episodes are just battle scenes. They just don't even care enough to actually make a real story. The anniversary is like for Super Megaforce just a fucking disaster. Like it's such a waste of a season. But again, like for me, Samurai is like, yeah, it's like. At least with Megaforce, like at least they like do their own like Americanized thing. It's like with Samurai, it's like they literally copy and pasted the script and then just put Americans in there instead of. The entire fucking thing about like that's something I saw like randomly posted on Twitter the other day that I found like really funny that made me remember this. The entire like storyline of Antonio, the like sixth Ranger in Samurai, that he's like ostracized from the group because like he's not a real samurai, when it's like he's being told this by like the Blue Ranger, who's a black guy, who's saying that to a guy who's Filipino, who's like actually at least of Asian descent. I do find that like super funny, and like how it really just shows you how ridiculous the writing is, because like obviously like in the real show, like in Shinkenger, which they just copy and paste the script from, they're both like actual, like they're both Asian, so like at least there it makes sense. To like here it's like it's a black guy telling an Asian guy that he's not like he doesn't have the right background to become a samurai. Like it just sounds so stupid. But yeah, that's Power Ranger Samurai for you. Am I still on Zero Dawn? Yes. I would like to replay it. Like, I mean, I did intend on doing a retrospective of it for next year. I don't think I'm going to go through with it now, because the intention was to do Zero Dawn and Forbidden West. I'm fully out on the Forbidden West one, just because, like, I feel like I said most of what I have to say about it. To where, like, at that point, I don't know if it's worth doing a Zero Dawn one, for, like, no real reason. So,
Okay. Let's find a way to get into the proving ground.
Or are you talking about like Forbidden West? Is that the question that you're asking? Is like you meant to say Forbidden West? Like my opinion is exactly the same. I'm still very, very high on Forbidden West. And the thing is, like, I think in general, like playing games on stream doesn't do the game justice at all, because like I'm like barely paying attention to the game. But yeah, I'm still very high on Forbidden West. I'm like really high on both games. Still really excited for 3, whenever we get it.
That complex should be test station ready.
Well, let's hope it holds the answers we seek.
To be honest, I barely remember the 2017 movie at this point. I intended on doing a retrospective of it for this year, but never got around to it, and won't at this point. Especially because, like, I believe it was like March or something that I was going to do it. But
It's one of those machines.
yeah, I mean, I remember liking the movie at the time. I don't know how well that would age, but
We're gonna have to take it out to get into the test station.
we'll see at some point. I'll probably watch it. Best Power Ranger villain? Let's see. I mean, I feel like Rancid comes to mind, even though his like storyline. Like, I think in retrospect, his story is like super fucking heavy-handed. But like at the time, he was like a great villain. What else is up there? I think Mesogog's a good villain.